Hi everyone, welcome to Aftermath TV. Caroline here with you guys on the small little island by myself. Like, you guys are so far away.
I know, it seems like we can't even be near you. Is that the new rules? We're not allowed to be near Caroline?
I don't know. Well, Jimmy's not here. Jimmy's sick, but maybe it's because he just didn't want to sit beside me. I don't know.
We'll find out. We will ask him.
Goodies.
For those of us who are here, former WWE superstar Anthony Corelli. How are you doing? Feeling good?
Awesome, fantastic. Yes, what a weekend of wrestling. And I'm going to come out and say right now, the Royal Rumble is my favorite pay-per-view of the year, including WrestleMania.
It's mine too. I love the Royal Rumble. There's always surprises. Somebody always comes out on top that maybe you didn't expect. Yep. It's always a lot of fun.
Well, we'll get to that in just a second. And newlywed, you're a married man, not?
Yes, Yes, I feel like I have a Green Lantern ring now. But yeah, it was official. We did it Saturday. It was a ton of fun.
Yep, going back to the Royal Rumble, one of the biggest pay-per-views for WWE, and what a night that was. Like, one of my wins from that pay-per-view was the fact that it was high entertainment value. We saw superstars from the past. I was excited to watch. I mean, in the ring for the women, at some point I saw Nia Jax just tossing other superstars out. And I'm like, I want to be Nia Jax. And then we see Trish Stratus take on Mickie James, which is, you know, an awakened rivalry. So I want to hear your guys' thoughts about the Women's Royal Rumble.
Well, it was awesome. So the fact that they're having the Women's Royal Rumble is already historic. And I didn't know where it was going to be placed in the card until they kind of realized, like, oh, it's the main event, which was absolutely fine, and they did it justice. The nature of a Royal Rumble, the countdown, it's like opening a present every 2 minutes, and that's the most exciting part for me is who's it going to be? And the surprise, it's a surprise. Everyone likes surprises. And the women did a fantastic job of mixing new and, you know, superstars from yesteryear coming back and all looking and doing awesome. The Glamazon looked like she didn't miss a beat.
Beth
Trish,
Phoenix,
Tori
yes.
Wilson looked awesome. Molly Holly. I mean,
Molly Holly was my absolute favorite when she was wrestling, and to see her come out and not really miss a beat. I know she still teaches up in Minnesota at a wrestling school. It was awesome to see her in the ring. It was great to even see Vicky Guerrero.
It was, yes. And then one good thing about a Royal Rumble is the fact that you get these face-offs and these moments, and you see Nia Jax and Beth Phoenix, for example, face off. People are like, ooh, that would have been awesome if that, you know, if their careers lined up. And I wonder if some of the girls, the women from yesteryear, if they did so well that they're going to get some offers.
Maybe they got the bug again?
Yeah,
like,
you never know.
You know, it's funny you say that because I follow Trish Stratus on Instagram, and she posted something along the lines of that she was so appreciative of being in that moment. And that's what I loved about the Women's Royal Rumble is it's not just about the female superstars in the present. It also brings back memories for those in the past. And seeing that moment, you could tell it wasn't just about competing. It meant a lot to them.
Well, if there was ever going to be a Women's Royal Rumble in the past, all of those ladies would have been in it. So to not have them in the first one, you kind of have to have them in the first one. It seemed weird to not have them. It was so great to see all the little surprises.
Yeah, I was at OVW when Mickie got called up to the main roster, and there was a moment when Trish and Mickie faced off, and there were Mickie James chants. So she was from our camp, and we were blown away from it. So when they faced off again, and I didn't know how significant it was to everybody else. It was significant to us because we knew Mickie, right? And it was awesome when they faced off, and just to show the impact they made back then. It was honestly, it was awesome.
Absolutely.
And of course, we saw Asuka remain undefeated, wins the first ever Women's Royal Rumble, makes history. But what bothered me so much, that's such a massive moment for Asuka, and she's overshadowed by Ronda Rousey.
Well, not just Asuka overshadowed by Ronda Rousey. If you read Twitter now, all anybody's talking about is Ronda Rousey, not the historic first ever Women's Royal Rumble, no matter who won. They're not talking about that historic thing. They're talking about Ronda Rousey showing up and awkwardly pointing at a WrestleMania sign. Which is frustrating because, honestly, I loved that moment when Rousey came out because I thought it was electric. Her music, her confidence, the universe was loving it. I support Ronda Rousey. I think she had a fantastic career. I think that she has a very long career to come in the WWE, but why that moment?
Well, I can play devil's advocate. I think it took away from Asuka's moment, which, first of all, I was surprised Asuka won, to be honest, because in a one-on-one fight, it's very different. In a Royal Rumble or Battle Royal type match, you got to be the bigger, lower center of balance or center of gravity type person because there's people coming at you from everywhere. And now in a one-on-one fight, Asuka can see you and have you in front of you. Have you in front of her, and she could, you know, take you apart, submit you, kick you. But this fight, this match wasn't geared towards Asuka to win.
No, she could have very easily lost it. With all those other people in the ring, all they had to do is 3 of them could have picked her up and chucked her out. I wouldn't have called that affecting her streak if she'd have gotten thrown out of the Rumble.
Exactly.
Because her streak is one-on-one matches.
Now, with Ronda Rousey, there's multiple things I like. One, I'm a judo guy. She's a judo girl. We have a lot of mutual friends in the sport of judo. I know her coach and everything. And she's, I grew up with combative women doing sports, and I know how strong they are. So when she excelled in MMA, I felt proud and I felt connected to that. And I fell in love with the type of professional wrestling in 2004 when I was in Japan that was very MMA oriented. And I predicted at that time saying this is where it's going to go, because the audience is so much more savvy with regards to submissions and the technical aspect of wrestling, that we have to up our game, and there's going to be a point where they intersect. And I believe that this is the culmination. If you look at some of the people that we have now, Shinsuke Nakamura, Asuka, with their crisp, striking, beautiful application of submissions, it's happening. There's always going to be hardcore, and there's always going to be lucha, and there's always going to be whatever else. But this is definitely a genre that's going to get stronger and stronger. Ronda main evented, I think she was the first person to main event a UFC pay-per-view. And now she's going to come over here and continue to make history with what our women have been doing, and what she's going to add is just going to, I think there's going to be a very good synergetic effect, and the women's division is just going to enter the stratosphere, no pun intended with stratosphere.
Well, going off of that, there's no doubt we see the progression of the female superstars in WWE, and now we just found out there's going to be the first ever, women are going to be participating in their first ever WWE Elimination Chamber. So what does that mean for the WWE as a whole?
Well, it's just the next historic thing. There's only so many left. They've done everything else, Hell in a Cell, Royal Rumble, ladder match, blah, 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 blah. So now here's the Elimination Chamber. Because Asuka won the Rumble, there is no set #1 contender to face your champion at WrestleMania from the Raw side. So throw them all in the cage and let's see what happens in this crazy chamber. I don't know who a favorite is in a women's Elimination Chamber match.
But that's what's exciting, right? We don't know.
Yeah, and we don't know who's in it yet.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, it's a very interesting dynamics in that match, because it's not like you're coming out every minute. There can be a complete match before the next person comes out. So it'll be very interesting. I think the women that are in the pods, it's going to be, what's the word, like we're confirming these women as the top women in the division.
Right, yeah, it will cement them as the top 6.
Top 6. And if you make a list of all the things that men have, and all the things that women have, and you can cross-reference. There's a few things that the women still, I'm thinking of my sister.
I know.
That the women don't have tag team championships.
And they used to have tag team championships years ago, like the Jumping Bomb Angels and the Golden Girls. Like, they all had these titles the same as the men. The tag ones are really the only ones missing.
Yeah, and there's also, Intercontinental, U.S., Universal Heavyweight. So there could be another championship belt for the women as well. But, at the end of the day, it should be 50-50.
Anthony, you touched upon Japan, and I want to bring this up. Shinsuke Nakamura won the Men's Royal Rumble. Asuka won the Women's Royal Rumble. Both Japanese. What does this mean for WWE, and what are these Japanese superstars bringing to the world?
Well, it's funny, again, because, so judo is Japanese. Yes. I grew up with Japanese people my whole life. My second father is Japanese. And then I go to Japan to try and be a wrestler, and I'm like, man, these guys are awesome here. And there are so many Japanese professional wrestlers that if they came over, and in Japan, Shinsuke Nakamura is not even considered like in their mind, WWE doesn't even have our best guy.
Right.
And he's still very good. But there's a lot of other guys. Tanahashi is the Japanese John Cena. And if he can, but there's so many guys that are awesome, and they've been awesome, and they've come and gone that the North American audience never even saw. So the depth of the Japanese professional wrestling industry is incredible. There are so many talented professional wrestlers. It looks like we're going to have a big Tokyo Dome show, I hope, with these two Japanese champions.
And that's exactly what you liked. You were more excited about the fact that the universe wanted to see Finn Balor or Shinsuke Nakamura win.
Instead of Roman Reigns or John Cena. That was very clear in the Final Four, that it was kind of the old against the new, and the fans were really behind. I don't know if they were behind Shinsuke or behind Finn as much as they were, against John Cena and against Roman Reigns. But it was great to see old versus new, and it was great to see that Shinsuke Nakamura on the new side came out on top.
And going back to you, Nug, WWE Championship, where we saw AJ Styles take on Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. You're a little frustrated with a certain something.
I have been frustrated with Shane McMahon for a long time. I'm a little sick of Shane McMahon. I'll go back to it. When they started Smackdown Live, it'll be about the superstars and not about the people in the office. It's all about the people in the office right now. And I thought for sure after that match, we would see the end of it. But there was controversy, and now Shane laughed at the controversy. This whole Shane and Sami and Kevin thing isn't over, and boy, do I wish it was over.
Anthony, thoughts?
Yeah, I was relating it to something that happened a few weeks ago. There was a superstar that in local wrestling won a trophy, and I went to present it, and I just presented it.
Yeah, you backed out.
And backed out. And some people were kind of like, we would have liked to have heard him say something, but it's not about me. It was about him and his moment, and I think I was trying to compensate for Shane McMahon.
Well, thank you. I don't know if Shane knows you're doing that, but I appreciate you doing that.
There were lots of wins from the Royal Rumble, but right now, guys, we've got to take a break. I know your least favorite moment, but we have to.
For it.
We got to. Stay where you are. We're coming back. NXT delivers once again, and we saw a super exciting main event between Gargano and Almas, and the universe loved it. And I want to know from you guys, why is NXT TakeOver even sometimes more popular than the pay-per-views?
I think it's the emotion that they extract. It's not as heavily produced, and what I mean is there's, the stage is a little smaller and the lights are a little less, and I believe they should do that a little more, in my opinion. I love the underground feel, but the emotional connection to the superstars is incredible. There are fewer of them, and it feels like you're watching their journey as opposed to their final destination. Everyone on Raw and SmackDown, they're there, they made it. They're on Raw and SmackDown. But the guys that are NXT, it's like college basketball as opposed to the NBA. Hungry young athletes that haven't made it yet.
Fighting for a spot.
Fighting, and they're hungry.
Yeah, they've worked a lot all over the world, all over America or wherever, just to be at NXT to get a shot at the big time. This is like college football. This is like AAA. For baseball, they want to get more. And I feel like the tapings, when they tape NXT in Florida, it's this tight group of like 400 people. And then when the takeovers happen, it's everybody who watches NXT that's in on the secret. I know these guys and you don't. And every takeover seems like its own WrestleMania for the NXT fans. And they're fewer. They're not as long. It's a much shorter show than all the main shows. I think it's a nice little secret that is getting a lot of attention.
The hustler, Rip Rogers, one of my former coaches, mentioned one time, he's like, when you look back and all your memories, because some of your greatest memories are when you were struggling and you're living in this little ghetto in Louisville, Kentucky, and just struggling and hungry. And I'm like, yeah, I'm the most proud of myself at that time because of that struggle and that upward climb, inch by inch. And that's what you're watching. And I think that's where you can see it. You can see the hunger.
So they bring their real raw emotions into NXT TakeOver, and that's what makes it so great.
Yes, absolutely.
Do you guys, is there anything that you think that NXT TakeOver should do to progress, or are they good where they are?
I think they're good where they are. They could even dumb it down a little bit.
I wouldn't mind. We just called it AAA of WWE. It's their farm league, but they should have a AA. I think there are a group of guys who sometimes appear on NXT that maybe need a little more work, maybe need a little more stage time. I'm a comedian. I'm talking about stage time, more ring time. And when they do house shows, apparently, and they're doing a house show tour of NXT through Ontario soon in February, that's when you'll see some guys you've never seen before on TV because they are working out the kinks. And I think they could have their own thing going on.
Yeah.
Sorry, Anthony. Moving on to the 205 Live division, there will be a new GM, and Daniel Bryan did say that in the division there's this untapped potential that lies within the superstars, and whoever the new GM will be, he or she will focus all their attention into this division. And do you guys see it moving forward? Who are your predictions as to who this GM could be?
Predictions. I saw something online that thought it was me, but it's not me.
We can confirm that is not true.
Who it's going to be, gosh, I don't know who it is. I don't even know. Hopefully I'm surprised. But it is going to be critical. I think the most difficult time in the division is past. The getting to know everybody. Because all of a sudden there's like, boom, there's 15 guys or so, and I got to get to know everybody. And how much can you get to know someone in a match?
Right.
But over time, with promos and feuds and angles, you get an idea who they are, and you need the emotional connection. So whoever the GM is, I kind of hope it was Regal, but he's kind of busy. I really hope he brings the best out of everybody and takes it to the next level.
I keep thinking about former cruiserweight champions, both in WCW and WWE when they were there together. Some of the greatest of all time are still with us. Dean Malenko is still around. Chris Jericho's still around. Rey Mysterio showed up at the Royal Rumble. Any one of those guys would be a great GM. But you want a GM that makes it about them, somebody who understands the struggles of the cruiserweights back during the Monday Night War and they understood that we are stealing the spotlight and we are taking this. And it's time 205 Live took the spotlight and took the attention, and you need somebody who knows how to take the attention. Why not X-Pac? Why not Sean Waltman?
Well, we'll see what happens, but in the meantime, there's some new WWE Hall of Fame news, and it's the Dudley Boys who are going to be coming after Goldberg, and I want to know one of your guys' favorite moments.
Oh, man. Well, first of all, when I heard them announce, I'm like, they're not in the Hall of Fame already? Because they're the Dudley Boys, you know? I mean, the audience would absolutely go bazonkers?
Berserk, bazonkers.
Berserkers. When they would say get the tables, it was insane. Places people would throw their children in the air.
Absolutely. What I remember is the not so good stuff, of course, when they split up and Devon became Reverend Devon. Still one of my favorite things ever because he had Deacon Batista holding the lockbox on the side, and that was when we got to see Batista for the first time. Love the Dudley Boys. Well-deserved
induction, but for now we got to go to break. But coming up after the break, we've got mixed tag teams.
Love it.
Nug's favorite.
Love it.
Nug's wife's favorite.
She does love it.
He blatantly interrupted me. You need to do something about this.
What are you saying, Alexa?
Braun, smash.
Are Alexa Bliss and Braun Strowman. I love the Braun smash. And it's like it triggers, like he's like a robot and it triggers him and he goes and does it. How amazing are they?
They look like they're just like, they should be in high school. Like she's that little bratty girl, he's the bully, and the bully likes the bratty girl, and she gives him enough attention to make her do her bidding.
I love it. I've said all along they look like Master Blaster from Mad Max, where there's the giant ogre and the guy driving him from behind. It totally looks like Alexa's driving Braun. I like that he's fully taking orders from Alexa, too. It's fantastic.
And they face Sami Zayn and Becky Lynch next.
Yes.
And in their video, Sami Zayn and Becky Lynch were saying that they're strategizing. What is one strategy to take on Braun Strowman and Alexa Bliss?
Run for your life.
Yeah, well,
I believe.
I mean, if it's the case where both genders can't be at the same time, I would try and isolate Alexa Bliss because I think they have a better chance of Becky Lynch beating her than.
If you don't give Braun a chance to tag in at all, then that's your best shot. So Becky Lynch should just fight Alexa Bliss and never let her tag in.
Okay, we recently also saw Braun Strowman flip a table. Now, we've seen him lift
a few
stronger items, like a production truck and an ambulance. Is this feat of strength beginning to get old, or do we want to keep seeing Braun Strowman flip things?
Well, if you're going to see them continue to happen, you want to see them increase. Like next would be a locomotive or a plane. This is a step down in terms of weight, but the thing is, he's a suck. He's a destructive sucky baby who's breaking everything, and he can't do this. Someone has to step up.
The rules of the match were last man standing. That's what he accomplished by flipping the table. Kane could not stand, so he was the last man standing. He won the match.
He's gambling homicide.
I know.
Well, then in the Universal Championship, Kane or Brock Lesnar, I believe, threw the table on him, and they're saying, oh, Braun Strowman's dead, he's dead. And no, he was just honestly taking a nap or a breather. It might have been strategy, and he flips the table over, and he comes out, and he's alive.
Yeah, he may have been knocked out, but, you know, sometimes knocked out people, they wake up.
Yeah, sometimes they come back.
Okay, last week we asked you guys to ask us any questions using the hashtag AskAftermath, and we did have a specific one come in that we are going to answer. And it's from Purple Monkey 34, and it's basically asking if you could pick 4 superstars from the past or the present to make a fatal team, who would they be?
Like a fatal 4-way match?
Yeah.
No, fatal 4-way.
Fatal, yeah.
I would pick from no one's favorite era, mine, the 80s. I would pick all the biggest dudes I could. So I would put Andre the Giant, Big John Studd, King Kong Bundy, and One Man Gang in a ring and just let them loose and see what happens.
I don't think that ring would survive.
Probably not. The ring would take the most damage for sure.
Also, Earthquake.
Oh yeah, Earthquake, Bam Bam Bigelow.
I like some of the studs, like for example, Hercules Hernandez.
Oh, loved Hercules.
Billy Jack Haynes.
Wow.
Perhaps a Steiner brother or two, and maybe a British Bulldog.
Oh, nice.
Oh yes,
very
I support
Strong
that.
guys.
Bring more dogs in. So who are your 4? Were those your 4?
Then I'll pick Rick Steiner, Davey Boy Smith, Billy Jack Haynes, and Hercules Hernandez.
Oh, very nice.
I love this question because we are all so excited. Like, we want this to happen. Okay, my 4, Trish Stratus. All-female team because I'm representing the females right now. Trish Stratus because no intro necessary. 7-time. Is she really? Yep. Oh, of course she is. I'm Polish for those of you who don't know. 7-time female women's champion and female superstar of the decade. Amazing. Beth Phoenix steps into a men's Royal Rumble and ejects a male superstar. That's B-A-D bad for me. And then I'm going to throw in 2 recent superstars, Charlotte Flair, because I think her technical and tactical awareness in the ring is amazing, and Asuka because she just represents present and future, and she is just like bow down to Asuka.
I just got Jimmy's list. Jimmy's list is Randy Orton, Ricky Steamboat, Eddie Guerrero, and Owen Hart. I would love to see those 4 guys in the ring. Thanks, Jimmy.
Jimmy,
Sorry
if you're watching,
sick, but thanks for texting.
It's a good list, Jimmy.
Awesome list.
I know. I wish that this could happen, but I mean, maybe one. Okay, you can change. Do you want to make it?
No, I'm okay.
No, a
you
revision?
turn it on WWE 2K18. You could probably make it happen. Put all these guys in the ring and see what happens.
Well, maybe we just gave the WWE, an idea.
Yeah.
Or you can do like Ricky Ortiz, Kevin Riley, Kevin Kiley,
Well, right after this, we have Smackdown Live coming up. Anything you guys can predict from the show?
Oh, I think there's going to be some repercussions for the New Day and Jinder Mahal incident during Royal Rumble. I don't think they're done with each other just yet.
Yeah, there's going to be some big fallout from the Royal Rumble, so it's going to be an interesting show today for sure.
Can't wait.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned. And guys, remember, please use the hashtag AskAftermath because we want to talk to you, we want to interact with you, and we want to answer your questions. So let us know, use the hashtag. Enjoy SmackDown Live, and we'll see you guys next week.